So today I'm going to report about Chapter 5, Planning Fundamentals. So there are three things occur in planning and control processes. First is during the conception of definition phases. It is a plan that is prepared specifying the project requirements, work, tasks, responsibilities, schedules, and budget. Second is during the execution phase, the work in the plan is performed and project progress is tracked and assist if necessary. And then third is corrective action is taken or the requirements or plan are revised. So this is the planning steps. The planning process or steps is a process used to develop objectives, develop tasks to meet objectives, determine needed resources, create a timeline, determine tracking and assessment, finalize the plan, and distribute the plan to the team. So the project team needs to answer questions regarding to what, how, by whom, in what order, for how much, and by when. The formalized planning process answers this question in the following steps. The first is what for, how much, and by when. Second, how. Third, who. Fourth, when, in what order. And fifth is how much and when. Sixth is how well. And seven, repeat how much, when, and how well. So, what for, how much, and by when? It is defined that project objectives, project scope, and system requirements. They specify the project deliverables and items and other results as well as the time, cost, and performance target. And how define the specific work activities, tasks, or jobs to be done to achieve the objectives and requirements. So sa who, nag-involve ang pag-identify sa departments, subcontractors, and managers nga magakompleto sa project kag dapat ilas responsibilities nga naga-confirm sa ila obra. So when, in what order? Prepare a schedule showing the timing of work activities including the deadlines and milestone dates. Number 5. How much and when? Prepare a budget and resource plan that allocates funding and other resources to support work activities as necessary according to the project schedule. Number 6. How well? Prepare a plan to review and control work performance after the project has begun to keep the project on track and to ensure that it conforms to schedule, budget, and user and system requirements. Number 7. Repeat how much, when, and how well. As needed, revise and fill in aspects of the plan to reflect reset information, current project progress, and updated estimates of the time and cost to complete the project. So, in number 7, you need to repeat the following so that you know if there will be a problem in the project. So 5.2, the project master plan. Project master plan is the overall plan including scope, schedule, and budget. The purpose of preparing the project master plan is to work out the details of the project and create a roadmap that will guide the project team throughout the execution of the project. Because the primary audience of the project master plan is the project team and not the user of technical section of the master plan, is usually much larger and more detailed than in the proposal. So, ang project master plan minasa ang overall plan which is nakasulod dira ang scope, schedule, and budget for an individual capital project. Elements of a project master plan. First is scope, charter, or statement for work. Overview description of the project oriented toward management, customer, and stakeholders include a brief description of the project objectives, overall requirements, constraints, risk problems, areas and solutions, master schedule, and showing major events and milestones. Second is management and organization, project organization, management, and personal requirements. Third is the technical section, major project activities, timing, and cost. So, learning from past project. Oftentimes, organizations view themselves as their projects as being too unique. They think we are different and ignore the lesson of history, the dilemmas, mistakes, and solutions of the past. While developing a project plan, it makes sense for the project manager to refer to earlier similar projects, plans, procedures, success, and failures. To be able to do this, ideally the project manager is provided with planning assistance in the form of lesson learned, best practices, suggested methodologies and templates, and even consulting advice derived from experience in the past projects. So, 5.3 Scope and Statement of Work. Project planning starts with determining the objectives, deliverables, and major tasks of the project. In combination, this defines the overall size of the project and the range or extent of work it encompasses. A concept called project scope. Determining the project scope begins during the project conception, first in the project initiation, and then in the initial description of the project, the RFP proposal process, if the project is contacted, and it continues again during the project definition. So, scope definition is the process of specifying the breadth of the project and its full span of outputs and items or deliverables. The sought after requirements and end results are termed inclusions, referring to what is to be included in the project. The scope definition also specifies items, conditions, or results not to be included within the project. Exclusion. A project to construct a building, for example, might exclude interior decorating and landscaping. Scope definition focuses primarily on the project outputs and deliverables, not on time and cost, although time and cost delimit or dictate the deliverables. As such, time and cost are often listed as constraints in the scope definition. The result of scope definition is called a scope statement, which, beside the main deliverable of the project and some background about the problem being addressed to be fulfilled by deliverables, user requirements, or high-level specification, assumptions, and constraints, to provide the rationale as to why the project has these deliverables and not others. And high-level project tasks are major areas of work. Necessary information for scope definition includes user needs and requirements, a business case, or other expressions of needs and constraints and assumption. The statement of work. The SOW is a description of a project, includes its objectives, scope, major deliverables, and work tasks. Impact justification and management. Sometimes the SOW contains much more specification and requirements on the deliverable, management, procedures for planning and handling risk and changes, budgets, schedules for deliverables, staffing, and responsibilities for key administrative and work tasks. In such cases, the SOW is effectively a mini or high-level version of the project master plan. A statement of work is a document that provides a description of a given project requirements. It defines the scope of work being provided, project and deliverables, timelines, work location, and payment terms and conditions. 5.4 Work definition. Once a project objectives and deliverable in the scope statement have been set, the next step is to translate them into specific, well-defined elements of work. These are the tasks, jobs, and activities the project team must do. Particularly for large, unique projects, it is easy to overlook or duplicate activities. To ensure that none are missed and that every activity is well understood and clearly defined, a systematic procedure called WBS is used. WBS, or also known as work breakdown structure. It is a method for completing complex, multi-step projects. It is a way to divide and conquer large projects to get things done faster and more efficiently. A typical WBS might consist of the following four levels. The number of levels varies, as does the name of the element's description at each level. Different methodologies use different terms. So in level 1, element description is project, and level 2, subproject, level 3, activity, level 4 is work package. So level 1 represents the total project. And level 2, the project is broken down into several, usually between 4 to 10 major elements or sub-project. Level 4 for is for illustration only. Work packages. Work packages represent jobs about the same magnitude of effort and relatively small cost and short duration compared to the total project. To reduce the proliferation of work packages in large projects, sometimes several related work packages are aggregated on the basis of cost and time. Each work package represents either contract or subcontractor or supplier on an internal agreement with an inside functional unit. Properties of work package: inputs, tasks, and outcomes. So predecessors, preconditions, resources, requirements, and specifications are inputs. Tasks are statement of work, time, cost, responsibility, quality assurance, risk. Outcomes are deliverables and results. Although several functional or subcontracting units might share responsibility to a work package, ideally, each work package is the responsibility of a single subcontractor or functional unit. This simplifies work planning and control and ensures accountability. So WBS, Integrated Planning and Control. Integrated planning and control is the essence of supply chain management. It encompasses aligning the plans and flow of materials and product at all connection points in a supply chain. It involves monitoring, managing, and controlling execution to achieve business plan and strategies. The WBS process and list of work packages thus integrate various elements of the project plan and project control in several ways. First is functional managers. Subcontractors and others responsible for the work are identified and become involved during the WBS process. Their approval of the WBS helps ensure accuracy and completeness of work definition and gain their commitment to the project. Second is work packages in each phase are logically and physically related to those in earlier and late phases. This ensures that predecessors' requirements are met and no steps are overlooked. Number 3, the identified work packages becomes the basis for budgets and schedules. Cost and time estimates for each work package defines the funds, resources, time, budget for package. Chapter 4 mentioned about the concept of integrated project plan, a plan where all the elements and requirements, work, task, schedule, and budgets are interconnected. Number 4. The project organization is formed around work packages. Resources are assembled for and management responsibility delegated to individuals in each work package. The project is directed by directing people working in the individual work packages. Number 5. Number 6 is project control is exercised through control or work packages while the project is underway. Actual work completed for each package compared to the work as scheduled. An integrated project plan is a system approach to management recognition that a project is a system of interrelated work elements, each that must be defined as specified budget and schedule. 5.5 Project Organization and Responsibilities. Integrating WBS and project organization. In general, whether for internal and external projects, the cost and control account represents integration of the project with the organization structure and agreement or contract with departments or subcontractors to fulfill work package requirements. Cost and controls accounts are described further in Chapter 8. Responsibility matrix. The individual to be held responsible for the work package are shown in the chart called responsibility matrix. Assignment matrix or responsibility charts are advantage of the matrix is the project staff and the stakeholder can easily see who is responsible for what because the responsibility matrix prescribes who is supposed to do what. It avoids people passing the buck when a further breakdown of assignments is necessary. People listed in the matrix can be subdivided and delegate more detailed tasks to others and display the assignments on an expanded matrix.